Do you want to take a life? Do you want to cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Marwan, Tolenilu. Ichaer Gwannar Navalano Sibado no Kirar.
I learned a long time ago that there's no sense getting all riled up every time a bunch of idiots give you a hard time. In the end, the universe tends to unfold as it should. Plus, I have a really large penis. That keeps me happy.
Now, what I've got here is a scrotum and nothing else.
Vagina. My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
The owner always wanted to run away and join the circus when he was a kid. Now the son of a bitch owns the circus. Ah, man. Real license to steal.
Oh, yeah. The American dream come true, man. Pure Horatio Alger.
Yeah, welcome to the happy place.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here, man. How much for the ape?
What's up, everybody? I'm back home. Thank God I'm back home in the Western civilization. Welcome. I literally just got home about an hour ago. So, of course, I wanted to stream. Haven't even showered. Good thing you can't smell. Although, you know, I don't have body odor. It's one of my superpowers, but I could probably use a shower, though. But we'll do it afterwards. Welcome back to freedom. You're goddamn right. In Texas. What, the Aztecs are undefeated at home? In their mini Qualcomm stadium that they tore down. Good for the Aztecs. Good for SDSU. Quick story about SDSU. My lovely niece was set to go there. And she was going to be in some student housing, And when she was all accepted and ready to go, And when she found out that she could possibly be sharing bathrooms with a dude, she backed out. So, hail Nerdrotic niece for being based. She went back to school somewhere else, we'll say. Somewhere else. Yeah, I'm going to say hello to you people. And then I slept pretty good on the plane, actually. I slept pretty good on the plane. So I'm rested. And we can do a show. Why the fuck not? Sorry, there's no Forbidden Frontier, but like we're all over the place right now. But if I could wrangle some people to join me, sure. Because we're just going to shoot the shit. We're just going to shoot the shit. But first, let's say hello to you. Lady Aaron D is here with her wrench. And because I was gone and my computer was logged out, I couldn't find the mod chat to let you guys know I was streaming. Sorry. Thank you, Lady Aaron D. You're lovely. Lovely. Eric's probably cussing me out right now. I mean, he does that regularly. So what's up? So let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. Kangarooster, Eldritch Dragoon, Geek Tropology, Thumbs Up 1981, The Toilet Bug. Well, a few of us had that. We had King Tut's Trots. That's just part of traveling when you go to it's a third world country. It is. It's got a city of 25 million people, though, which is crazy. We'll talk about that. Soul Asunder. Hayden Wayne with a 50 right off the bat. What's up, Hayden? 50. Good, Gary. Hope you guys had a good time. Can't wait to hear about it. We had a great time, and we will get to that because the fellowship travels well. You guys are unfucking believable. Soul Jaron. David Lewis. God, I hate these ads. I really do. The Planet Will. Malignant. Okay, now I got to stop for this one. Malignant Garden. Malignant. Fuck. I am retarded. Malignant Garden. I just said malignant. I'm going to get fucking roasted for that. I should. Psychotic Mongoose. Toxic Man Flu. Snex. Dale Russell. Joey. I'm just going to say Joey. Vin V2P. B Chain 315. Stimpy. Father Christopher Miller. You know, there were some Christians there. I think they're like Orthodox. Wasn't Catholic. It wasn't Catholic, but there were some Christians in Egypt. There were some Christians in Egypt. Couple of weird things I'm going to talk about that I didn't want to talk about there that I can talk about here. Poor Michael. I can't wait to tell that story. Michael Collins, by the way. WG, what's up? What's up? All right. So I was going to spend this time kind of catching up what I've missed on the internet. So we're going to just kind of do it together. So hey, what's up, Perry? I was figuring, well, if I'm going to be sitting in front of my computer for a couple hours, kind of catching up on, I'm guessing a slow week, picked a good week to take off. We'll just do it together. We'll go over some news. We'll hit geeksandgamers.com. We'll hit some other places. I guess there's talk of more Game of Thrones spinoffs, but no talk of Wins a Winner being finished. There is Stranger Things is coming out in a couple of days. Some YouTube shenanigans, possibly not. I don't know. There's always something going on. Oh, and technically, yes, it is still Doctor Who Day. It is still Doctor Who Day. So happy 62nd anniversary to the greatest sci-fi show ever. Star Trek 1A, 1B, that's fine, but 62 years, longest running sci-fi show. Shame it died back in 2017. Shame it died. William Hartnell is the first Doctor. Yeah, 62 today. 62. R.I.P. Doctor Who. R.I.P. Doctor Who. Oh, poor Jeremy catching strays in here. People saying he's still gay. Yeah, I mean, like, once you're gay, you don't, like, stop being gay. Unless you're, like, Milo Yiannopoulos. Although, did he stop being gay? I'm not keeping track of his love life. You're right, Perry. You're absolutely right. What a shame. So yeah, I'm gonna just go over the news and we'll shoot the shit. Hayden Wade says Asman Gold and DSP are having a stream together tomorrow after DSP spurged out because Asman was talking about him. Should be entertaining, at least. The aftermath will be. It will be. Thank you for the 20, Hayden. Yeah, Twitch streamers. Oh, there was that Mr. Beast tweet. We'll go over that. We'll talk about that. Because that was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Toxic Man Flu for 50 says, well, I was going to do some homework for my master's class, but no, Gary had to stream and distract me. Yep. Fuck your master class. The nerd ate my homework, professor. Honest, I did. I could just do it for you, and then you wouldn't have a class to worry about ever. That would be Oh, no, Mr. Beast, I saw this in the chat. Mr. Beast doesn't have a smile. That is a smile that doesn't reach the eyes is something I don't trust. It's like people who don't like dogs. Like, if you don't like dogs, I ain't trusting you. I just went to a whole country where they don't like them. But they're everywhere. The dogs are everywhere. It's a very scuffed country. So yeah, we'll start there. We'll start with we're gonna do a full review on Forbidden Frontier. So we're going to do a full review of that, but just general feelings on the country of Egypt, I guess. So I didn't have high expectations going there. I'm like, it'd be like Mexico, right? And it was like Mexico. It was like Middle East Mexico. The sites were 10 out of 10. It's crazy that you see such crazy shit there that when you go to other sites that are still equally impressive, you're kind of like, that's cool, but it's no Karnak. So my initial takeaway is going to not the Gaza plateau, but the Giza plateau was something I've been wanting to do since I was like 8 years old. So bucket list stuff. Almost got a little emotional. And like I couldn't even talk when we were rolling up. Actually, the bus got pretty quiet when we were rolling up to it. And our guide, Ahmed, who was fucking awesome, by the way, got us at all these sites early before the crowd showed up. So we get, like, for one, good lighting for pictures, but then, like, we're not dealing with a lot of crowds. And the very first thing we did was climb into the Great Pyramid of Giza, not Gaza. And it, like, I've seen so many videos from Brian Forster to Ben Van Kerkwick of Uncharted X and Graham Hancock and Megalithomania. I've seen them so much that, like, I knew where I was going. I knew, like, how long you have to go up these steps, right? And you have to crouch down a little bit, but I knew the path. I recognized everything. Hot as fuck in that pyramid. Woo. There's like little old ladies going up there. So ballsy. Well done, little old ladies. And we went into the king's chamber, right? And it was everything. Words cannot describe. I was in awe. And you get there and you see how actually big they are, and you're like, what? No fucking way. And now they say the step pyramid and other pyramids predate it. But there's the same thing we saw in Peru is older shit is better. It's better cut and it's completely different from a different era. So I guess one of the most disappointing things was the Sphinx. So it might be, I would equate the Sphinx to seeing the Mona Lisa. You're like, oh, I mean, nice painting, but it's about this big. And then when you're going through the Louvre, you're seeing these paintings that go from floor to ceiling about the French Revolution and, you know, naked chicks, and they're just better. They're more impressive. So you see it and you go, oh, okay, cool. And I'm sure the same feeling goes for the Statue of Liberty. Everybody thinks it's, big. It's not. So we go to the Sphinx, and it's, for one, so little of the original Sphinx is still there. They're rebuilding everything, and half of it, like, it looks nothing like it used to. And I still fully believe it used to be a lion. But the base of it has been pretty much reconstructed. And here's the fucked up thing. So if you're all familiar with Robert Schoch, and I was more excited about seeing the erosion. I've never been so excited to see erosion in my life, but the erosion around the Sphinx is what makes it interesting, is because the erosion is 24,000 years old, and it's a dug out area. So that means they dug out that area and did a form of the Sphinx 24,000 years ago, when they say it's only like I think 4,000 years old. And it's, so you know what they're doing? They're covering up the erosion. They are covering it up. I got pictures of it, and Michael told me they were doing it. When I saw it, I'm like, I cannot fucking believe they're doing it. And they're doing it to take it out of the conversation. And in a generation, it'll be forgotten. Or they'll be able to debunk it, and nobody can debunk the debunking because they'll have covered it up. Yeah. So what erosion? So the Sphinx, the Sphinx is a yardang. So it's a yardang. If you don't know what a yardang is, you see them in the desert, and it's like a crop of rock that sticks up. So it was carved out of a yardang, but they cut out the area around it to flatten it out. And they also use supposedly those stones to make the temple that has, I think, a lot to do with it, but only one part of the temple that is cut like with absolute precision. It looks like, I call it slee stack, because if you guys remember Land of the Lost, the slee stacks were in like megalithic. That's the first time I ever saw megalithic stuff, when I was a kid. But it's megalithic blocks that do not have any hieroglyphics, that are cut to absolute precision. You can't like put a hair in between it. Like, that is there. So that was clearly there. It was buried and preserved. It's clearly older, and it's clearly better. It's clearly better. So when you see the Sphinx itself, it's up. But they cut out an area, and then after they cut that area, there's tons of water erosion. And Robert Schoch, who is a geologist, was able to date that. Originally, he dated it back to like 10,000 years older, like saying the Sphinx is 10,000 years older. He's since updated that to much further in antiquity. And they base the erosion on the amount of rain there is. Well, it doesn't rain there, like, ever. And if it does rain, it doesn't rain to the levels to create this kind of erosion. So Robert Schoch said, no, this is erosion that's 20, 30, 40,000 years old. And they're covering it up because they want to take that out of the conversation. They do. They do. So that was pretty fucked up. And with these tours, just like with Peru, I mean, we're up at 4:30 in the morning. We're moving all day. Not a lot of time to rest. So we're all pretty gassed by the end. But my favorite thing was the Serapeum, which I missed because I was sick. But then I went back, and Karnak, which was those big pillars. And there's just so much weird shit there. And it's a huge site. So, yeah, Snacks, a flood. A flood. So, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not going to be like Hassan Piker going, Egypt is this great country. We'll talk about it on Forbidden Frontier. I finally figured out like how they drive there, which was nuts. So they have painted lanes on their freeway, but they aren't even guidelines. They just pretend they're not there. But they have a system of driving that's completely chaotic and insane. But none of us, other than one little fender bender in the city, which was a car rear-ending a horse-drawn carriage. And it's not like a touristy horse-drawn carriage. It's like one that's for practical use. Lots of horses, donkeys running down the middle of the street. But yeah, they just kind of weave in and out of each other, and they fucking honk. And it's not to like get the fuck out of my way. It's like, oh, I'm here, I'm over here, and it works. And there's no accidents. None. I didn't see anybody getting pulled over. You don't really see any cops. The other thing I didn't see, any women driving. You can drive there, but I didn't see any women driving. Yes, the horses shit everywhere. So, I mean, like, I can't really knock that system of driving when I consider like how many accidents I see here and not there. But it's nuts. Women are pretty much second class citizens. I can hear y'all based. And then there was the whole Israel thing, right? So when they check your passports, or Graham mentions this in one of his books. So if you ever visited Israel prior and you're going to a Middle East country, make sure you have your Israel stamp on a separate piece of paper or not in your passport, or you will get flagged and they will harass you or all kinds of shit. And then Michael Collins has this tattoo that's not a Star of David, but I guess it could kind of look like one. And we were at where were we? Valley of the Kings in a shop getting some food, and had touristy stuff. And the guy who works there saw that on his finger. He's like, "That's no good. That's no good here." And Mike's like, "What?" He's all, "That's no good here." He's all, "Oh, that's not a Star of David." "Yes, it is." He's all, "No." And he had to describe, like, this is an open line and that has clotheslines. He's all, "Oh, sorry." They checked my wife's passport and they clearly said the one word I picked up was Israel. They were looking for Israel. Yeah. That's just kind of stuff you think about. I was walking around with a Star Trek shirt on. And I'm like, I've got a couple of Jews on my shirt right now. Are they going to trip out on that? They wouldn't know. Just stuff we're not used to. Stuff we're not used to. Yeah. Well, women don't walk around alone ever. Wouldn't recommend it. Wouldn't recommend it at all. And then little kids running up to you going, money. All over the place. But that part's not that different from Mexico, to be honest with you. But they go, Chick-fil-A. They at least try to sell you something. These kids just run up and just go, give me some fucking money. You almost respect it, but it's a lot. And we'll go over it on a lot more on Forbidden Frontier. We have pictures. We have visual aids. Oh, another thing. I don't know if it was ABF. ABF told me, and I believe him, that in that country, they subsidize sugar, cigarettes, and gas to keep the people happy since the Arab Spring of 2011, which they're still talking a lot about. And then there was a bunch of stuff in the museum, and it all had like, you paid for by USAID, paid for by USAID, paid for by USAID, paid for by USAID. We pay for fucking everything. There's Eric. What's up, Eric? Yeah. Very happy to be in Western civilization. And as bad as London and New York and LA are, and they're probably heading that way, they still have a ways to go. We still have it really good here. We all need to remember that. And that's what we fight for. We need to preserve that. We need to preserve that. All right. Now I gotta, I don't know. Maybe I'm betting Lady Grandmaster did some research. Hang on. What the heck's that? Oh yeah, the Warner Brothers sales. That's really going to happen. That went to, I don't believe it's going to happen, to I think it's actually going to happen. Oh, whoops. That one's a good one. Oh God, do I have to accept the cookies? I guess so. That's a good one. But how are you guys doing? FNT was great without me. Oh, good. I'll take more off. Awesome. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it tonight. It's weird because I had to do that when my brother-in-law passed away. Miss you, JT. I missed FNT and I watched it later, and that was weird. It's really weird. But I had no doubt the guys were gonna do it. I knew with Garrett and Ryan. Garrett's running the show from behind the scenes, like Garrett's running it, but guiding the conversation was Ryan. I thought that was probably good move. Very good move. So thanks, Ryan. I heard he wore his headdress, which is great. Jeremy made it gay. I mean, we're pretty fucking gay. So what can I say? Garrett is a fucking champ. Garrett's great. Perry's great. X-Ray Girl's drunk. No, she's probably not drunk now. Yes. So the ladies managed to find, the ladies being primarily Mrs. Nerdrotic, X-Ray Girl, and Noons. They were able to sniff out the liquor in a it's kind of like I talked about it in the other stream, but it's kind of like Salt Lake City. So there's liquor there. You just, you got to find it. But once you find it, you're good. You're good. So the ladies were happy. Noons, cool as hell. One based lady, cool as hell. ABF, Happy Jessica was there. Jeff up north. I'm not going to remember everybody's name, but we had a fucking great crew. 40 of us, 40 people stayed together, didn't get lost. Even Ray, we have this guy named Ray. He's awesome. Ray's the life of the party. He's funny. He went to Peru too. Yeah, 40 people went on this trip. The Japan trip is going to be bigger. Thanks, Perry. I probably could have put more up. My phone is full. I maxed out my phone. I couldn't shoot any more video. No, we were not at an Airbnb. So we were with a tour group called Trova Trip. And we're going to be doing these like once a year now. And they handle pretty much everything. They handle a lot of meals, all transportation. They hook you up with transportation that, I mean, you got to pay for, but they'll send somebody up to get you like an Uber. It's really cheap. But yeah, they took care of everything. We stayed in some nice hotels. Gary, would you bring on Dave Rubin and Matt Walsh to FNT like together? That would be an interesting show. Movie erotic. I don't think they'd come on. I'd love to see Jeremy debate Dave Rubin. That'd be fucking awesome. That would be awesome. I kind of like Matt Walsh. So I know sometimes it sounds like I don't, but I just know. Yeah, don't be a Rubin, says Lady R&D. We have a different baseline philosophy towards certain things, but I agree with him on a lot of shit. But that's okay because people can disagree all the time. I don't bring Carson, Randall Carson. Well, Ben Carson's going to be at I'm going to be at in Scottsdale in 2 weeks. We're going to be doing that Ancient Civilization Summit with AJ had to back out. And I think Jimmy had to back out, which sucks, but like we understand and we love those guys. So Randall is coming in. Randall Carlson's going to be in. Oh, Carson Daly, Johnny Carson. I thought you were talking about Ben Carson, and he's going to be there too. But Randall's going to be there, which is going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be awesome. All right. God damn it. There was one. There was one article I wanted to look up. I'll see if I can look it up now. Again, we're doing this live, and this is me just catching up. Oh, I'm super sad that I didn't get to see, didn't have an opportunity to see Wicked for Good. I'm truly heartbroken. That I didn't get to see Wicked for Good. And I just don't think I'm going to ever have time to do it. I have no time in my schedule for the rest of my life to see Wicked for Good. I don't give a shit. I do want to see Sisu 2, though. making that happen. Yes, Lady Aaron D. Landman fucking rules. Landman rules. Haven't seen the end of Tulsa King yet, though. Haven't seen the end of Tulsa King. So, yeah, let's start with this one. Let's just do some fun, and we'll get some soups. Just a second here. Again, I'm just shooting the shit. This is just, I haven't streamed at home. I like streaming. I missed it. But we're going to go to the revamped geeksandgamers.com. Because I wanted to talk about this. George R. Martin says more Game of Thrones prequels and even some sequels are in development. Now, and I don't think it's the one I want. So the Jon Snow sequel let's rewind a little bit. Remember when Kit Harington said he never wanted, because his mom bought him a fucking doll, he was non-binary for like 5 minutes and he didn't want to do any more masculine roles like Jon Snow. And then he didn't get any work and the Marvel thing didn't work out. And then he's all, you know what? I got this great idea for a Game of Thrones sequel. And I have to admit, I thought it was one of the better ideas. Hear me out. I don't know if this is direction they were going to go, but I think it wouldn't have fixed. You can't fix season 8 without reshooting it. But if you could provide context and made some of it a little better by doing this one thing, you have Jon Snow basically being the last Targaryen, the last Ronin. He's exiled out of his own, he's exiled like Elric. And what he does is he travels the rest of Planetos that we haven't seen. So he heads up to the 5 fortresses and goes to Essos with, Longclaw on his back and Ghost by his side and just wandering the earth like Kang from Kung Fu and getting into adventures. And we get to see other parts of Planetos. And that way you could be away from the King's Landing stuff. You could certainly bring that up, but it could probably give more context to the White Walkers, and you would find out that there might be different forms of them. You can get into the Empire of the Dawn stuff. It could be really fucking cool, but that's not the one they're going to do. So I think that one had potential, but that's not the one they're going to do. So far, Game of Thrones has spawned House of the Dragon, which takes place 200 years. We all know that. So, but more on the way, as at Iceland Noir, a literary convention held from December 12th to 15th, George R. Martin confirmed that these are far from, did it like happen a year ago? Maybe you meant November. I mean, because it was either last year or you're reporting from the future. George R. Martin confirmed that there are far more shows related to A Song of Ice and Fire in his series, and it might have been last year, of novels and the horizon, according to Los Siete Reinos, which translates to the 7 Kingdoms via IGN. Martin said there are other Game of Thrones spin-off projects in development, and this is no secret. There's up to 8, and there's a bunch of animated ones. Martin then specifically said there are several in development, 5 or 6 series in addition to House of the Dragon and Knight of the Seven Kingdom, and that he's not developing them alone as far as what the relation to Game of Thrones will be. Martin said, most are prequels. There are some sequels. Now, the sequels mean you can go far into the future because apparently Planetos does not advance very much over thousands and thousands of years, other than like they had a Bronze Age and Iron Age. The notion of Game of Thrones sequels is somewhat surprising, given how controversial, to be kind, the reaction is to the show's final season. Even the prequels were a gamble, as many seem to have lost the interest in revisiting Westeros. But the benefit of a prequel is not having to rely on the Game of Thrones story. A sequel would almost certainly have to build on Game of Thrones ending. But now that HBO wants consistent content, and House of the Dragon has proven there's still life in this IP, they appear to be more willing to risk a sequel. What that sequel will look like is anyone's guess, as Martin didn't give any details. A previous idea for a Game of Thrones sequel series, the Jon Snow one, which I just talked about, which I think could have been good. For the prequel series, fuck. If they do if they do like 10,000 ships, the Nymeria prequel, that will be like some feminist girl boss bullshit. I don't like Dorn. I don't like the Roinar at all. I just don't care about any of their stories and their water magic and all that shit. I don't care. So what's this? Brian Hegland, LA Confidential payback, Man on Fire conspiracy theory. I like LA Confidential. That's a fucking good movie. Said that nothing is ever dead, which would indicate that it's a candidate for resurrection. So that's the John. Oh God. Yeah, that's the 10,000 ships. Yeah, fuck that. Hell no. I don't want that show. That's like nobody would like that show. Nobody would watch that show. It would be canceled before the first season ended. I think Aegon the Conqueror, I think that's going to happen. What I'd like to happen is George finish the fucking book. Or just be honest with people and tell them you can't finish. We all know why he said he can't do that though, because then stuff like this won't happen because it pretty much breaks what it gives the illusion of hope. It gives the illusion of hope. Gives the illusion of hope. Tolkien says, false hopes are more dangerous than fears. It's a false hope. It's a false hope. Thank you, Mr. Blue Sky. Says, welcome back from Egypt. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. I'm not even tired. That's why we're streaming. Maybe a little loopy, but not tired. So fucking glad to be home. Not going to leave my house for a week. Enjoy the amenities like water, like not having to worry about, is there ice in my glass right now? I got to take it out. I can't have any vegetables that are raw. I still got sick. We need Asmongold. Asmongold's so hot right now. Asmongold, okay. Asmongold figured something out pretty quick here. Let's go to the or maybe not pretty quick. I don't know. I haven't followed him forever. But because I don't go on Twitch. That's a good picture of Michael. Where is my profile? And then we'll get to my snarky comment, which will help me find the Mr. Beast thing. There it is. Okay. Normally I just don't care enough to talk about other content creators. This one's kind of funny though. This one's kind of funny. So for some reason, Mr. Beast decided to post, especially after what's going on with Twitch, right? Like what's been going on with Twitch, from dog shocking to commies to people getting mad that they're not on their fake award shows, and Asmongold just talking shit about all of them. That's true. It's not even like it's lies or anything. He's just pointing out the obvious. So Mr. Beast decides, not a lot of unity over at Twitch. I think, what is there, 5 or 6 people who just get all the attention? How do we get YouTube? How do we get the YouTube community more tight knit, like the Twitch streaming community? They're always collabing, hosting award shows, etc. Feels like YouTubers are on separate planets. Asmongold Zach responds, "Trust me, it's better that way." Totally, 100%. Now, I don't know if everybody caught what, like, I'm kind of shit posting here. What is this wee shit we're talking about, Mr. Beastie? It's just fucking, but it's to show that we're on different planets, What's this wee shit? Yeah, it's terrible idea. Okay. One is called YouTube, at least for now, not AI tube. And why there's a tight-knit community that's very small comparative to YouTube, because mostly they talk about each other. That's my just kind of uneducated observation of Twitch. They talk about each other all the fucking time. Yes, they used to game, and then they got in like kitty tubs with bikinis on, and then they turned into communists, and now they're just turning on each other. This tight-knit community has just been talking shit about each other, and they all hate each other, probably. That'd be my guess. And that's fine. That's people. That's just how things go, right? But yeah, once Asmongold, I think he was part of stuff before. I mean, people can educate me on this, and I'm guessing he was part of stuff before and said, fuck all that. And now he's doing so much better on his own. Not that he was doing bad before, but better, like orders of magnitude better. So, yeah, I agree with Asmongold on that one. Tight-knit community. What are you talking about? Twitch is minuscule compared to YouTube, for one, and Mr. Beast knows that. Mr. Beast knows that. That's why I am great. I'm grateful for a lot of things, but I'm grateful that the friends I've made along the way, we still hang out. I mean, it's FNT. We just hang out. We still hang out. We talk to each other all the time. We don't worry about stupid shit. I don't care. And it's, I mean, it may be because we talk shit about each other all the time, like just to each other's faces. I don't know, but I'm really grateful that I've made the friends I have. And I mean, fucking content creation is no different than anything else. And I've said this, and I don't care. People don't fucking like it. I mean, you all see it anyway. But like with Con Inc., I mean, that's as fucking Hollywood as it gets behind the scenes. As Hollywood as it gets behind the scenes. Want no part of it ever. Yeah, I met some very cool people along the way that I'm very grateful for the relationships that you don't have to fucking walk on eggshells. I'm not big on, I don't do it. I just don't do it. I don't think if you're in a relationship with a friend or a wife, or a husband for the ladies, that you have to walk on eggshells all the fucking time, that's not a relationship. That's not trust. That's not anything. And it's not worth burning, wasting what limited time we have on earth. Stress is very hard on your body. It's extremely hard on your body. It could be worse than smoking. It could be worse than drugs. It could be worse than all of that stuff. And especially if it's a low level of stress. And if you have to fucking deal with bullshit all the time, there's these, remember back in the day, they called them like psychic vampires. So it's people who just drew energy out of the room, and they were just never happy, and they wanted to make sure nobody else was happy. It's because they weren't happy. It's just it's sad that they are that way, but it's not my job to fix them, and it's not your job to fix them. Very powerful thing I learned in recovery too. It's like, we can't save everybody, and it's not our job to do so at all. We make the world a better place by being the best we can individually. Really simple stuff, but hard to practice for some people. But yeah, that was just hilarious. Yeah, let's bring YouTube together. I'm sure unions would love that. I'm sure some unions would love that. I don't know how you would even practice. I don't know how you would implement that practically. That'd be crazy. James Gunn saved Superman. I don't think so. Oh yeah, that's the one I heard. Hang on. Thanks for bringing that up. Let's go. Oh, it's really happening. I don't know if the guys talked about this on FNT. I'm sure they did. All right. I gave James Gunn the benefit of the doubt. He had some cred in my book. You guys know the story. Talked about it ad infinitum on all of my channels about how I feel about Superman. I wanted it to be good. I was rooting for the movie, and I actually expected to like it. Those were my expectations. So color me shocked when I didn't and just thought it was eh. So he starts out with Creature Commandos. Well, he does this big announcement, and Authority is the second one, and he starts out with an animated series that's a quirky set of superheroes. Then he does Superman. Then he does Peacemaker season 2, which is a quirky set of superheroes or anti-heroes. That's his wheelhouse. And my question from the beginning was, is James Gunn the right guy to do Superman? And now I think that has been definitively answered. No, he doesn't have the chops. He doesn't have what it takes. And more importantly, he doesn't believe in the values that make Superman popular as a character. As a matter of fact, that's what's the comic industry has had a hard time with, because they brought in a lot of, for lack of a better term, edgelords who hated Superman. And I promise you, most of them see him as Homelander. Most of these creators see Superman like Garth Ennis ain't gonna fucking rip out a Superman comic book. He's just not. Mark Miller can do a Superman comic book. There's certain people who understand the character and love the character, and Dan Jurgens is a great example. But I was talking to somebody on the tour, and he asked me, like, how many, has Superman ever been a bestseller? And it's like, nah, not unless there's an event. No, he's been a very mediocre seller throughout years, but he is the symbol of superheroes, and he certainly works really well on television. He works really well on television and can work really well in movies. But look at how many Superman TV series there have been, and they've all been varying degrees of successful. Because at the core, they still get the Superman part right. And James Gunn whiffed. So what's James Gunn? What's his next thing? Does anybody want to see this? Did anybody ask for this? Did people walk away from Superman going, my God, there needs to be a Jimmy Olsen TV series based on what? Jimmy Olsen's Superman spinoff series, DC Crime, in development with American Vandal creators at DC and HBO Max. And I think, hang on, let me get to the right one here. Piss off. There's a Superman spinoff series, DC Crime. The series is billed as being akin to a true crime docu-series with Jimmy Olsen from Superman hosting, played by Skylar blah, blah, blah. Season 1 reportedly will be centered around DC bad guy Gorilla Grodd, who often wrestles the Flash. So we're introducing a Flash villain and a Batman villain and bisexual orgies before the Flash and Batman. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like Warner Brothers, Zaslav, I know you're watching, buddy. You're getting played. You're getting played. You went to James Gunn, and he was in the position of power. Out of desperation, you wanted to pull somebody from Marvel who had some previous success. And I don't know if you really looked into, like, is he the right guy for the job? I think it was more for show instead of looking, has this guy ever really mass produced anything? Can he do anything outside of directing a movie every couple of years? Because that's a really fucking different job than running a studio, being a creative head of a studio and mapping out a shared universe that, quite frankly, has only really worked in the modern era once, and it stopped working 5 years ago, and that's the MCU. And here you got the only notable thing that James Gunn, I'm going to count Supergirl with this too. The only notable DC heroes that are going to be introduced in this first, 4 fucking years now, is the Lanterns and Superman. Not fucking Clayface or Creature Commandos or Peacemaker or Supergirl or Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd. You know, and I can hear them talking. They're like, well, it's such an obvious thing to do to introduce Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. We wanted to be different. It's like, you're not good enough to be different with this. What you need to do is you needed to set up a foundation, and you needed a success because DC really hasn't had any. They just haven't. They got Warner Brothers pissed off Nolan. But the things that were successful, well, you got rid of that guy. You got rid of Snyder, and his shit was more successful. This is utterly stupid. So that's all. Yeah. And they're doing a V for Vendetta show, which is so fucking on the nose and boring at this point. And like, of course they are. Of course they are. Yes, they're doing a V for Vendetta TV show. Just watch the movie. And as much as I like it, it's like that shit is so played out. And if we're going to do a alternate reality of some authoritarian fake religious nationalist dictatorship again, but they never managed to really go over, you know, Terry Gilliam used to critique communism quite a bit. They don't do that. Yeah, V for vagina. That's what it'll be called. V for
Vagina.
Yes, another modernity allegory. Mob. Hello. Yeah, I did. Yes, I brought my backpack in. Are you going somewhere? You look like you're going somewhere. Oh, okay. Cool. I mean, you can go somewhere if you want.
Are you sure?
Maybe. Better check with me later. I'm trying to keep the ladies in check here. Okay. That was Kara. Kara's still here. She was house sitting. No, I don't think James Gunn's Superman's going to last much longer. And I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like Paramount's still the big dog that's going to buy Warner Brothers. And I think they'll let James Gunn finish out his contract and see what he does. And if everything performs kind of like it has already, then I could see them making a change. Here's the problem, Skydance. I think you'd be wasting your time. I think rebooting the DCU for the 5th time, and it would be 5th if you want to really think about it, for the 5th time in as many years. I think you just sit on it for a while. Make Batman movies. I think that's pretty much the future of superhero movies are going to be the big dogs. I think Marvel is going to try to, reset their X-Men's going to be a fucking disaster. I think you sit on it and just make fucking Batman movies. Need to hydrate. You think Paramount's going to have some masculine energy? I hope so. It feels like they want to be more, but like, I don't know. You got to show me. I don't trust anything from Hollywood. I'm not going to look at, I'm not going to be like, I'm pro this CEO over there. Like, Bob Iger's the worst. Disney's the worst. They are the fucking worst. I think Warner Brothers has the best potential. I think they have IPs that rival Disney that might be better. But, you see him fucking fuck up on House of the Dragon season 2 by getting cheap with two episodes. That's under Zaslav's watch. Black fucking Snape is one of the worst casting decisions in the history of Hollywood. That is under Zaslav's watch. I mean, that is a horrific fucking casting decision with something you could have printed money and nobody, and I mean nobody other than the few fucking weirdos who hate JK anyway, was ever going to complain there's too many white people in Harry Potter. What you could have done is just cast it correctly from the book, and you would have had your proper, probably, Ryan's pointed this out, representation that reflected the 90s UK pretty perfectly. You have prominent black characters, and you have Cho Chang. That's totally like a authentic name, right, Perry? Cho Chang. But Black Snape, I if that casting doesn't happen, I probably feel more optimistic with Zaslav being in charge under Paramount or whatever. And I think they're probably going to keep him on. I don't think they fire anybody right away. I think that's stupid, and I don't think you can. Plus, they need time to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Fatigue. That was good. That was good, chat. That was good. So I want a good DC universe. I want them to like get all cylinders firing, and then they go and do a good Vertigo one. But the thing is, like, pop culture is so fucking poisoned almost beyond repair with the things that we love, with activists, fucking weirdos, and Hollywood is just chock full of them now that they invited in during their little DEI revolution over the last 5 years, and they can't get, and they want, there are many people who want to get rid of them. I know that for a fact. I can tell you that for a certainty, that there are people who are high up who would love to get rid of them, and they know they can't. And they know they can't. And the writing quality is amateurish because they have no life experience. We've talked about that a lot. They have no life experience. I mean, their experience is watching Buffy and sitting in their in their bedroom in their parents' house when they're 30. I mean, that's their life experience. And if you're in that situation, I'm not that talking. We're talking about like hiring writers when we had Star Trek writers who went to world wars. The disciples of Whedon. And I like Whedon, but Whedon couldn't even do Whedon right now. If Whedon came back, he could not do Whedon right now. So, and everybody's Whedoned out completely, including yours truly. Sorry, reading a DM right now. Interesting. Gary, where is Joss? Joss is a broken man. Last I heard, broken man. He's with his artist wife, his new artist wife. I mean, he doesn't have to work another day in his life, but he's the kind of guy who really got off on the notoriety. But he was actually good. Like, the guy was good. The guy earned his reputation, and yeah, he was probably a dick on the set. Who cares? And he had massive TDS. And that's what eventually, you poke the fucking bear. And that's what ended him. And also, if you come out and saying you're a male feminist and then you're not, which most male feminists are, I mean, that's pretty much a label of all women. Stay away from that person completely. But yeah, I remember when his wife called him out, but like, who cares? But he got ruined by his own people. We wouldn't have cared. We would have gone, okay, you said you were a male feminist because you were trying to get laid. All right. I mean, if he comes out and goes, yeah, I'm totally not a male feminist. I was just trying to get laid. I'd respect that. That's honesty. He got remarried, but like his wife didn't die like Patton Oswalt's died. The thing is, and this might sound a little harsh, but I don't care. If your husband is working in Hollywood and he's working on a show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer with a bunch of hot women running around, what do you think is going to happen? He's in Hollywood. Marriages don't last in Hollywood. And for his responsibility, don't get married. Don't get married. You'll avoid a lot of problems. Cabin in the Woods was awesome. Cabin in the Woods was awesome. Let's get some soups. And then we'll get to the BBC. Not the real BBC. Well, I guess we are the real BBC. There might not be much of a BBC left. There might not. There might not be a BBC left because apparently they lost a lot of money. Getting distracted by got Babylon 5 up on my screen over there. It's like, ooh, I like this episode. All right. Mad Dog 1424 for $4.99. The new Robin Hood show is pretty good. I don't know the lore, but a couple of woke things you could probably nitpick, but I'm liking it so far. Like Little John White being black. That might be dude, oh, fuck. So I flew British Airways. Anybody out there fly British Airways? Anyone? So you know the little ads they put on before you take off, and it's supposed to be cute. Like they take British dramas and they try to insert like the British Airways workers to like, you know, when you're gonna die, get your fucking vest on and shit. And they do a bunch of 1800s period piece, and it's all fucking woke. It's all woke as shit. Ugh. It's I could do a video on that BBC Airways commercial. I could very easily. Where was I? I didn't want to lose that one. Dark Schwartz Rising says, let's fucking go. Has been a member for 9 months. Thank you. I'm glad you're alive. Fuck flying and remain blessed. Yeah, I don't like it. And yeah, Jeremy would have hated this trip. So 6 flights in 1 week. That is like a decade's worth of flying I did in a week. And they snuck one in on me, you bastard, Michael Collins. So we did the planes, trains, and automobiles thing, like big time. But yeah, it was 2 flights to get out there. And then we went down to Luxor, and then maybe because I wasn't paying attention, that's probably it. We took a train down, a night train, which was an experience in itself. Very authentic. That's the term we're using, authentic. We were in a little bunks, and it was smaller than my prison cell by about 2 feet. But everybody got to live how I lived for 2 years for 11 hours. Now, Michael tried to blame it on me because I wouldn't want to fly down there, which was true. I thought we would like take a boat or something down the Nile. I thought we could do something like that. But we did the train, and it was fun. It was actually kind of fun. But then I'm like, oh, wait, we fly back? What? On Egyptian Air? And that's what we did. It was fine. But yeah, 6 flights in 7 days. So I'm not flying again until we go to Japan. Wild Warlock for 10 Australian dollars, streaming some dim sims for lunch, and a surprise Nerdrotic stream appears. Life is good. Hail, chat, and welcome back, Gary. Thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. That's nice. Dude, Egypt, Stargate, let's fucking go. Yeah, I got to watch Stargate now. I have purchased the movie. To watch again. I haven't watched it. And when did it come out? 30 years ago? And I'm going to start. A great way to get rid of the Sunday night hit blues. Streaming right off the plane, you demand. Thank you, Dark Schwartz Rising. Yes, streaming right off the plane. Probably over a football game or whatever. Don't care. Great to have you back, Gary. Welcome home. Thank you, Horatio Mantooth. Toxic Man Flu was gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. Thank you, Tox. Tell Comics Division he's a fucking midget. Staccato DDS for $20. Thank you. Have you noticed which action figures switched around while you were gone? I haven't even bothered looking, but I will. I did find the Bon Jovi action figure. I don't know what I did with it. I'll show it on either tomorrow or Real BBC. But yeah, somebody left a Bon Jovi. I know who it was too. It's Kara. Fucking Kara. Women. Goddamn women. Can't trust them. Welcome home and happy Doctor Who Day. Watching classics. Terror of the Autons. Oh. I'm going to watch some tonight, I think. I am. What am I going to watch? What do I want to watch tonight? I'm going to go to an old favorite. I've watched it a gazillion times. City of Death. It's Douglas Adams. Who kidnapped Gary? He's the best African expert. Well, nobody kidnapped me. Nobody wants a 56-year-old man. No. In my Texas hat that I bought at the airport on my way out because I'm like, I don't want to wear a black hat there. So I saw an orange hat. I just picked it up. I have no affiliation with that team. Could care less. Hook 'em horns. Welcome to Forbidden Frontier. Oops, wrong show, says the dead man. Yeah, wrong show. Welcome back to the land of freedom and brisket. Can't wait for Texas A&M to saw the horns off the University of Austin. Go ahead. I mean, fucking saw them up. Beat the shit out of them. I don't care. I'm just wearing an orange hat. Go A&M. And Hayden Wayne, thank you again for the 50. Read that one earlier. Hayden. All right, Alex. 1. Thank you for the $9.99. I appreciate it. John Wayne, 1985 for $10. You transitioned back. Why would you do that? We were just getting used to you being a cute redhead. Sorry. But I'm glad Kara held it down. She was on Side Scrollers. Bring it, and it's good. Bringing some legitimacy. Just kidding, Craig. WG for $10 says, welcome home. Thank you, WG. Thank you, brother. Hey, are you going to be in Arizona, WG? Probably not. You're so busy. Read that one. And I read that one. Here we go. Any plans on reviewing Murderbot on Apple Plus? It's very faithful to the books. The woke crap is presented so accurately. My wife asked if it was a parody. Yeah, I tried with that show and fuck no. It was written post checklist. And that means the book too. But that's where publishing is. Because this is how they steer. You don't win awards. You will not get pushed unless you do what we say with this DEI stuff. And they wonder why men aren't reading books, because you're not giving them any books to read, publishing industry. It's really that simple. I went into a bookstore at Heathrow Airport and it was just fucking woke environmentalist bullshit. More woke bullshit, true crime, and the sci-fi fantasy section was like this big, and there was like Wheel of Time with and then there was Hitchhiker and a couple of things, but nothing really fucking new and cool. Now that stuff is still happening, but it's just not happening from big publishers, and good, fuck them. So no. Gary, you should get Hypnotic for FNT as a guest. Yeah, we should. We totally should. Love Hypnotic. He's fucking great. You are correct. Adrian Barrera says, R.I.P. Doctor Who. We remember the good and forget the bad. Yep, that's all we can do. It's incredibly sad. I said my goodbye. Oh, Perry just did a god tier edit on that Doctor Who video, which is still cooking along, Perry. I told you that one would cook. I told you that one would just be a slow burn. Slow burn. And that ending, best work he's ever done. Which is saying something. WB Gary, I am so pleased you are not in Gaza. Hail. Yeah. Sec 199. They really don't like the Israelis there at all. Jeremy used to be gay, which is fine. But now he's an actual liberal white woman. Way worse. D-Day Karen. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did something happen while I was gone? I still have to watch the show. Stargate series helmed by original showrunners. And I am excited. If you're excited, good. I don't want to piss on your excitement. I just want you to temper your expectations. This is Amazon. The last time a Stargate series was on was what? Didn't they try one like 6 years ago? I'm checking it. Oh, way longer now. Really? I thought there was one. The last Stargate series to be aired was, it was way long ago. Stargate Universe, which ended in 2011. However, a new Stargate series has been recently announced. We live in a different world now. We live in a different world. So I hope it's great. I hope it's fucking fantastic because Stargate fans love Stargate. They deserve good TV. They deserve good stories because they made what I think is a pretty fucking shitty movie into a classic series. And it's all the subjects I like. I just hated the execution of that movie. I really did. But I hope it's great. I want it to be great. But RTD came back to Doctor Who, and look what he did. And I'm telling you, if George Lucas came back to Star Wars, it wouldn't be as bad as the Disney trilogy, but it wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good. There's a saying, you can't go home again. It'd be like, okay, if Ronald D. Moore, and this could happen, by the way, if Ronald D. Moore announced that I am going to be starting a new Star Trek series that's going to be moving into the future, I think a lot of people would be excited. And there was a time I would have been insanely excited about that. I would be now very cautious. I mean, we'll see. Are you going to? Well, I tell you, okay, Skydance wants to make friends. If they want to make friends, if they want to bring back a large portion of the Star Trek, there's a Star Trek fandom out there that does watch Kurtzman Trek. It's very small. It's about the size of the Acolyte fandom. They're worried about pissing them off. I would say piss them off. I don't fucking care. And I think a lot of the people who watch the Kurtzman stuff wouldn't cry if you said, this is all a different timeline. Every bit of it. Even the Star Trek Picard season 3, which I love. If you need to throw it in that timeline, fine. I don't care. And then we move forward. No more fucking prequels. You move forward with a totally different crew, but it's still Star Trek, the Berman, Roddenberry Star Trek. That is that's where you left off. That's one thing I hated about Enterprise. It's like, fuck prequels, man. I wanted to move forward. And I think Robert brought it up, and he's not wrong, right? Robert knows more about Star Trek than I ever will. Saying that like you would have a lot of problem with the technology. It would be like the technology of the gods. It would be solving a lot of problems. Well, and then you just do the Voyager thing again. There's like a million things you can do, and even if it's repeating, you could still do something different with it. You send a ship on a 5-year mission deep like into a quadrant that has not been explored before. Something, but you move it forward. You could reference the past all you want, and that's great, but you move it forward. But Ronald D. Moore, he's not the same Ronald D. Moore as before. That totally rhymes. Sorry. Look at this. I'm getting so much hate. Piss on your hat, Boomer Sooner. Jeremy is an inbred. Okay. I just bought it because it represented, like, it's got a longhorn on it. I don't care about the team at all. Like, I don't care about college football. Mildly about San Diego State. If I had a college football team that I would call my favorite team, it would be the San Diego State Aztecs. Because I've seen a bunch of their games, but there's no like passion. Well, I don't have any passion for sports other than Padres. I think sports are woke and gay. You see peddlers who tried to sell fake stuff outside the pyramids. That's all it was. It's all stuff that's made in China. And they are relentless, like fucking relentless. There is always somebody in your face. Nice tan. Do Egyptians like the gay couple? Like the gay people? No, they like them about as much as they like the Israelis, I think. Does it look like water erosion in person? Yes, very much so. I got a bunch of pictures, Bubba Doom. I got a bunch. You couldn't go down there. You had to pay like 2,000 American to go down there. I'm like, no. Gary, Jeremy, Jeremy. Thank you for the 25 Norwegian krona. I think that's all the ways to spell it. Like the only way to spell Gary is Gary. To all the Garys who spell it with 2 R's, that's Gary. That's Gary. It's not Gary. Get it right. Your Egypt trip should be in your book. Well, it's a little late for that. But there will be one immortal mark for my Egyptian trip because that Facebook, not Facebook, what the fuck, that Twitter bio update where they show you country of origin. They did that when I was in Egypt. So here, if we go to mine. If we go to mine right now. Da, da, da. Says connected via Egypt Android app. And I'm wondering if that's just going to stay that way the whole time. So there's that. My account's based in Egypt now. Well, it's connected in Egypt, based in America. Based in America. What was Noons like? Jeremy's a fig. Noons is like a girl. She's lovely. She was fun. She partied with the ladies. Melissa and X-Ray and Noons bonded. I think they had a female estrogen bonding thing going on that I wasn't really gonna try to understand, or it's like girls were getting it done. They were just getting it done, and it was great. It was great to see it. Lots of bonding amongst the fellowship. They were having a good time, man. And they're all going to be really tired this week. Is Cairo still filled with old dented Fiats? Yes, very much so. But it has some newer cars too. A lot of Chinese cars rolling around there. Hot take. Bay would be worse than Kathleen Kennedy if he ran Star Wars. Michael Bay? Worse than Kathleen Kennedy? I don't think so. I'm not going to say it was good, but I think there would be more masculinity, more testosterone, a lot more explosions. Nothing would make sense. And lore folk would probably be pretty pissed. But it'd be more entertaining. Here is a share of the SSS, says Brian McCann. Thank you, Brian, for being a member for 32 effing months. Hi, Gary. Welcome back. I saw Sisu 2 in the theater on Friday night. It was good. I didn't expect that ending would bring a tear to my eye, though. Oh, shit. Okay. He's killing commies. I mean, that's good stuff. I read that one. Mexi Rage, what are your thoughts on if we got a Muppets Lord of the Rings? Well, we can't, because one's Warner Brothers and one is, those rights still distribution wise would belong to Warner Brothers. Well, they might. I don't think they'd be able to do it. Like if Jim Henson did one, it would be fucking great. It'd be great, but it'd be very difficult to get those rights. And the Lord of the Rings, if they would have to get it from, oh God, I'm blanking on the name who bought it from the Salzans company. Is that like Swedish or Norwegian, whatever, the white people region? Some company bought it, and Embracer bought it. So if they bought the rights from Embracer, they could do one, but it couldn't look anything like the Warner Brothers, Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings. I think it'd be fun in a different time. Trippy 325 for $5. What are your thoughts on the Heavy Metal Mag relaunch? Just grabbed issue 3 and liked it so much I grabbed the first 2 hardcovers in the store. I've been loving the relaunch. They have kind of gone away. Their philosophy is we welcome everybody, but it's truly welcoming everybody, right? You'll probably get a woke story here and there, but you're also going to get a fucking incredibly base story, and you'll get titties, lots of titties. They have embraced titties again. So I absolutely love heavy metal. They were kind enough. I didn't want to make an issue. If somebody blocks me, I don't give a shit, like whatever. But I have been a proponent of that magazine all my life. And even Razor like put up for me to get me unblocked, and then we chatted a little bit in the DMs, and I'm just like, hey, like I don't know who did it. I don't care. I'm not getting mad. I didn't want to like get you guys in any trouble because I actually supported your crowdfunded relaunch, and I absolutely support everything you're doing right now because I think it's great. I think it's needed, and it's going back, and it's the people who are running it now love heavy metal, old school heavy metal, which was highly influential in my life. Just absolutely highly it is a magazine. I admit it. When I was a kid, I was just looking for boobs, but then I got into the art and the style of story and the style of fantasy that they do, and it's fucking brilliant. So I'm glad you liked it. I love what they're doing. Absolutely support and love. And if you want to support them, you will get like high quality magazines again. Metal Hurlant is back. Heavy metal is back. And lovely people, by the way. Amazingly, like really, they know the channel. They didn't care. We discuss things, and in our conversation, they're like, well, we're going to like talk to everybody. And essentially they're going to go, we're going to talk to people who don't like you, but we're going to still talk to you. And we don't give a shit. And I'm like, that's all I ask. Like, I would never ask you to not talk to people. That's gay. So, they were very cool. Very cool. They're in a business, you know? Jeremy is a master debater of many men. Eric, you're right. Get Latino Slant, AK Paulie on FNT, and talk about it. I've been to Paulie's house. And we have talked about a lot of stuff. We did talk about a lot of stuff. We love Paulie. Matt Wall. That is so funny on the Chris Gore's Academy Awards thing. As mentioned it, he was like, I was worried that I was the racist until Paulie got here. And it's kind of true. but it was all good fun. Matt Walsh on FNT in character as Guilfoyle. Do it. He could play Guilfoyle. He probably could. Dude, also, what about Asmongold on FNT? I'd love to have him on FNT. I don't know if he does collabs. I mean, I think the whole thing is like he is kind of like I'm off the collab thing. Like I'm just doing my own thing. And considering the stuff, and I only know poquito about it, that he's been through, I do not blame him. I do not blame him. But I'll reach out and ask. We'll reach out and ask, but my feelings won't be hurt if he says no. I would understand. Speaking of fantasy, Larry Carrera's final audiobook in the saga of the Forgotten Warrior series, The Heart of the Mountain, releases Tuesday. Good luck, Larry. We still got to get him on because I want him to break down for all you guys the sad puppy incident, which has gone a long way to absolutely destroying publishing. You don't like Mel Gibson's conspiracy theory? I love Mel Gibson's conspiracy theory. Love that movie. Love that movie. For George, WW2 later, 2,194 days. NAM, 7,121 days. Ugh. Fucking NAM, dude. Gary, why are you home? Hope you're okay. Also, on the 25th, it's my birthday. When we rise up and retake the UK, please visit again. Oh, I'll be back. I was only in the UK for a layover. So I only spent like 6 hours in the UK total this week. We'll be back. We're going to be doing a couple of things in the UK over the next 2 years that I'm very excited to announce to you. One of them is going to be fucking awesome. The other one will be the meetup, which will be next year. Last thing YouTube needs is to be like Twitch. Agreed. Streaming communities are cringe and retarded, and nobody likes them except for the other idiots. Notrum for 300 Martian pesos. Yeah, YouTube's different beast, Mr. Beast. One that you have figured out to a T. I mean, the guy like figured out the algorithm, makes content that obviously people like. Biggest YouTuber ever, I think, right? No, top 5. Who's the biggest YouTuber ever? I don't care. Yeah, I don't want to. No, I like where I am. I think a lot of YouTubers would say the same. It's like, no, I'm good. Whiffed for sure. Whiffed. Thank you for the $2, Jack. Peepo Sus for $1.99. Best guess as to why Echo is politically retarded. Echo Chamberlain. Oh, Echo Chamberlain's just liberal, but he'll talk to other people. And I mean this with all the love because I love Echo Chamberlain. I mean this with love. He is my favorite snob. Absolutely my favorite snob. Love Echo. He just doesn't agree with most people in politics. I could see a Vandal Savage show working before Jimmy Olsen. You're right. There's about 1,000 shows that could work before. And for one, you're doing a Jimmy Olsen show and you're not calling it Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. Come on. DC crime because he wants to jump on the fucking true crime trend. If you're building a cinematic universe with a classic IP that's worth billions of dollars and you're jumping on other trends, are you going to James Gunn, do you go to TikTok and search their trends and that's how you're going to map your fucking universe? Trends that'll be completely gone by the time your movie comes out. Now, true crime's been around for a while, but it's trend jumping. It's not innovating. He's bullshitting his way through this, guys. He's absolutely bullshit. He doesn't know what he's fucking doing. He does not know what he's doing. And I'm not saying I would know what to do in that position, but he's a director, not a studio head, not a major producer. He's from Trauma. And now you're in the big leagues. Now you're in the big leagues in a falling empire. That's going to be a lot less patient. History, here's how it's going to go down in history for superhero movies when people look back on this in 20 years. Marvel had a good run till they didn't. DC never got off the ground. Fredo Jacko, 8247 for $5. The goal is to normalize the fringe, the irreverent, and subvert archetypes in order to collapse Western civilization. Gunn's films align perfectly with this. Yes. James Gunn James Gunn is not going to put an American flag on his front house, on the front of his house for 4th of July, because he believes it's fascist. People trying to push the idea that James Gunn is based in any way, you're fucking insane. Have you watched any of his stuff? And like, aside from, like, the movie all you want, I don't care, but this undying devotion that equals and somehow surpasses the devotion people had for Snyder, for what I will kindly say, and I mean kindly say, is at best a mediocre movie with no substance, just junk food, basically. Some people say it's worse, but to have that kind of devotion behind something that clearly doesn't have a plan is really strange. The alternate reality of V for Vendetta is the one we currently live in. Yeah, I've said it before. V for Vendetta was pretty spot on. They just got the bad guy wrong. Have you exercised, reconcentrated the room yet? Not yet. Not yet. Reconsecrated. Not reconsecrated. Reconsecrated. Not yet. Probably should have done that before I streamed. Shit. Yo, Gary, top 5 Pixar movies. My picks are Incredibles, Toy Story, Monsters, Toy Story 3, and Wall-E. Oh, God. Incredibles. Wall-E. Finding Nemo. Toy Story. And Monsters, Inc. It's got to be higher than Finding Nemo. So trade those out. Love Monsters Inc. My kid watched it, but I Incredibles is far and above the best. Ruben Haynes, what's up? Gary, we need to talk about the theory of everything and other big Earth, Moon, Sun connections. Evergreen content for you. Serious, Gary. I sent a message to Mel. This is groundbreaking. We got it. Ruben. We'll check it out. Thanks, brother. Jake Tammon for $1.99. Hope you close out Stranger Things well. I'm hyped. I hope it's good. I saw a clip on Twitter that didn't look good, like at all. But we'll see. I love season 4, and I'm gonna rewatch it tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. For some reason, I thought today was Monday all day, but I'm not surprised. So rewatch it tomorrow, Tuesday. Then I'm getting up super early to watch the first 3 eps of season 5. Start recording a review so we can hopefully have it out by Thursday. Then, of course, we'll talk about it on FNT. That's the plan this week. 56, Gary, I am nearly 58. You are not real boomer. Gen X, baby. Who? Yeah, we are Gen X. People, I mean, the boomer phrase is just the internet phrase. I am Gen X. Message censored by Mossad. I didn't get my $7,000. Gary, welcome home. Sanitarium, leave me be. Did you ever get to see where Slayer filmed the video for Seasons of the Abyss while you were in Egypt? Oh, no, I didn't, but I should have looked. Love that fucking love Slayer. Starting week 3 at my new job tomorrow. Thank you for the sanity. Oh, Gollum. Well, congrats. Have you seen the new South Park seasons recently? Yes, they have jumped the shark completely. I defended them after the first one, but when they do like 5 in a row, it's like it's indefensible at this point. Indefensible, which is really disappointing, to be honest with you. Badlands wished it was Apocalypto. No English words. Apocalypto was great. Badlands was a flop. I have to correct. You know what? It is my duty to correct when I get things wrong, which I do all the time, but particularly in videos. And while I did give the caveat of using the word probably, I was dead wrong. And I'm here to admit it. I said that Predator Badlands was probably going to be a hit. Well, that was fucking wrong. It's a flop. Another flop. And for the 5th time this year, and we're in the 20s. Platoon probably has an exact count. Little Platoon did a great video on Badlands, by the way. Well done, sir. And Mahler and I were talking about this at the time when all this shit was going down. It's like, it's happening again. This is like Tron Ares, but worse. And this is just like Alien Romulus and Alien Earth and Thunderbolts and Superman and Captain. Yeah, even with a little Captain African American and Fantastic Four. It's like, these things are great. They're a hit. You're a hater. You know, and in some cases, I said the movies were mediocre. And there's all this gaslighting going on. And then it's gone within a couple of weeks. It's like the contract ran out. And now I'm convinced. I know there's simps out there for everything, but now I am absolutely convinced that these are third-party companies. It's just speculation, but I don't think I'm wrong because there's a lot of money riding on this, and it's not a lot of money to spend. Fake it till you make it marketing. They're actually been doing this for a long time. So third-party marketing firm gets contracted out so Disney can, not that everybody's going to look into it. They're probably directly connected. Who's going to look into it? Who cares? But think about it. And this goes back to when they were, there was a time, ladies and gentlemen, when we were accused of botting. We were. And I'm like, are you fucking insane? Like, spend money on that shit? But you know who does have the motivation to spend money on botting and bot farms? A movie worth hundreds of millions of dollars that's got a lot of jobs and things riding on it. So it's not against the law. It might be against some TOS that'll never get proven. Or so who has the motivation to bot, to gaslight, to make something look better than it is? The studio. Who also has the resources to get this done? The studios. I think Predator Badlands, I think that is one of the best, worst examples there is out there, because that shit disappeared. No thoughts on the Rise of Merlin trailer. I haven't seen it. What is it? Where is it? What is it? There we go. Who's it by? Oh, is it Daily Wire? Oh, it's Pendragon Cycle. Okay. All right. So it's Pendragon Cycle. I haven't seen it yet. I have not seen it yet. Started listening to Light of the Jedi because there hasn't been a lot of good books coming out. No, there hasn't. I just I'll probably listen to Harry Potter again. Which, I'm going to be real, Philosopher's Stone, The Sorcerer's Stone, not my favorite book. It's a good start. I think it makes a good movie. I think it's a decent book, but it's very much a children's book. A children's book. So when I go back and reread, I pretty much pick up at Goblet of Fire. That's what if I do a full reread, I just go to Goblet of Fire. And I can't wait till we get to that. But we get one every month. So we're going to get another. We're going to be getting here. Let's find out. When do we get Chamber of Secrets? There we go. I've just pre-ordered it. 22 days and 3 hours till Chamber of Secrets. So yeah, I like the quite a bit. I like the audio edition, the full cast audio. It's not a full cast audio drama. It is a full cast audio book. So narrators telling you everything, even though you hear it twice. There's a lot of doubling up, and it's because those are easier to make. A full cast audio drama requires direction. You have to, you also have to edit down the book, so you're not getting unabridged. But I liked it quite a bit. I did. Going to be impossible to make Stargate like before. They had 20 plus episodes, and the new 8-episode format won't work. Yeah, I hate that format. I hate that format for that kind of show. And I really wish they bring back, you know what? I don't need great special effects. I really don't. What I need is great writing and good characters that I care about. You got to watch SG1, mate. It was awesome. I'm going to watch it. Rhino. What's up, my brother? A lot of people love it. Hypothetical. What would you say if George Lucas came out and retconned Disney Star Wars? Would you forgive him? I mean, there's nothing. George sold it, and it's George's fault that he sold it, but it does not require my forgiveness. I don't feel slighted as a lifelong fan of Star Wars, where a lot of you guys who are new to the channel probably don't relate it that much, but I was a Star Wars maniac for a large portion of my life. There's no forgiveness necessary. I'm not mad at George. He sold it. He did what he thought was best. That's fine. It sucks what happened, but it seems to me that he wasn't exactly pleased with what Disney did. But retconning it, if anybody just retconned it and started anew, that would be that's how you fix it. That's exactly how you fix it, and it's the only way you can fix it. There is no making the shit Disney made work. It's just not going to work. The only cultural relevance that Disney Star Wars has now is its criticism, and other people have brought that up. The most entertaining thing and the most insightful thing about Disney Star Wars is the criticism around it. And it's the only memorable thing of Disney Star Wars. Crazy, right? Thank you, Darkington, for gifting 1 Nerdrotic Live membership. Oh, that's one thing we could talk about. Leslie Hedlund. Yeah. I know they talked about this on FNT. I'll get that served up in just a second. Don't forget more boobs. I'll never forget more boobs. I love boobs. I love boobs too. Gary, wearing a long man cap is both awesome and cognitively dissident. It's a longhorn. A longhorn cap. Why did I say long man? I just said it naturally. Is it? Well, thank you. Landman choked me up tonight. Oh, there's a new one. Holy shit. Yeah. All right. Damn it. I've got a lot of stuff. I haven't caught up on Pluribus either. I've been busy. Hi, Trish. How you doing? If it choked you up, then it has to be good. We love Trish. Welcome back, Gay. Happy you're back. Didn't expect an 8 p.m. Pacific time stream. FNT wasn't the same. Oh, well, they did good. It was probably better. Flippin' the birdie for $10. Says first time super chatter. All right. Wanted to pick your brain on the X-Men. Would you say the Uncanny X-Men is the best series to buy? I have the Dark Phoenix saga and was wanting the rest of the series. Yeah, like the whole Claremont, Cockrum, Byrne, and Byrne had a lot of he co-wrote towards the end. That whole fucking run is 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Now, when it gets into like early X-Men stuff with when Jim Lee and Silvestri and all them start coming in kind of after that, I think it's still really good. But I am not like X-Men was not ever my go-to comic. Ever. It wasn't even in my top 5. I always thought X-Men got a little soapy for me. So after Age of Apocalypse, I freaking quit right after that for a long time. And I didn't start picking up X-Men regularly until I bought my store. And that was early days of Morrison and Quitely's run, the new X-Men. I think it had been out. I forgot what issue was up to. When did New X-Men start? Because I bought my store in 2000. Yeah, so it had already been out for a couple years. So it wasn't until later on issues and I just picked it up, and then I bought a trade and read up. But that was the hard thing about the comic store is like I wasn't really a huge DC guy, and I had to like catch up on a lot of shit. And my first employee was a DC guy, which was really helpful. But the crazy thing is, through osmosis, sitting in a comic store, you can fucking pick up a lot of information without reading shit. Thing is, I had to read all the time. So minimum, my minimum goal every night before I went to bed was reading 5 comic books. Now, most of the time I read 10 to 15 a day, every day, 7 days a week, about 3 times as much that. So Tuesday night, we put books away. I pretty much never slept. Probably led to my relapse. Tuesday night, we get the shipment in, we put everything away. Then I'd have to have everything, pretty much the major stuff, read before we open the store the next morning. So we're talking 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And then, because it depends on when the shipment got there and how big the shipment was and how long it took to put away and inventory and blah, blah, blah. But X-Men was never on the top of my list for anything. I liked Wolverine, like Cyclops. But even before it got gay, I kind of thought it was a little gay. Felt the same way about Sandman. I was grateful that X-Men and Sandman brought a lot of women in the shop. And a lot, I mean like 4 a week, which is a lot. But I know people who just read X-Men. That's all they gave a shit about. And I know people who hated it. But it's without a doubt, it was one of the best-selling comics for a long time. But I would love to. This isn't my saying. I got it off Twitter. Might have been Aaron Sparrow. Can't remember. No, I think it was actually, God, it was a creator, and he was right. X-Men had its time. X-Men is not the X-Men of lore. What we like now about the X-Men is an idea that died a long time ago. We like the idea of the X-Men. The X-Men owned the 90s. They absolutely owned the 90s. And were pretty prominent in the early 2000s. You could argue they owned a portion of the 80s too. So 80s, 90s. But then that was it. By 2000, by the mid 2000s, when Marvel gotten the rights and wanted to push the Inhumans over the X-Men, it essentially killed it. The thing is, though, it kind of ran its course because you can't just constantly do humans hate mutants over and over. That's why they mixed it up. They mixed it up and they'd have them like take on the Brood and go like, but it's just, oh, we're hated and feared again. Let's bring back, I saw Comics Explained say, yeah, we need to start an X-Men thing with Stryker. It's like, no, you don't. No, you fucking don't. You really don't. Make the X-Men superheroes, not victims all the fucking time. So it got played out. Their whole thing got played out. And X-Men versus Avengers versus X-Men was shit. Fucking shit. But, you know, stick with the early eras. You're good. Andrew Fay for $99.99. Hell. Thank you. Gary, I know I'm getting old, but when did the demon look become feminine beauty standard for Hollywood? Is the demon look considered sexy? Like, I can look at a historical Greek statue and find her attractive. Sydney Sweeney is an outlier in this. I can't see that because I don't know what in this something equation. Okay, I can see it. It's the death of beauty. So you're not getting old. We are a culture and a society in entropy. All things are always in entropy. Didn't need to be this way, but when the beauty industry went away from beauty, that should have been a sign. When gay men started making all the choices for gay men instead of women, and every model had to look like they're on fucking heroin. That's just one aspect. Architecture, another aspect. Fucking modern art, garbage. It's all fucking garbage. There's nothing beautiful about it. There could be a beauty in ugly art or evil or you know, gothic art. There's still beauty in it, in the skill. But the demon look, I don't consider it sexy. Thought on Bigelow's Strange Days and Near Dark. Great movies. I love Strange Days. I own Strange Days. Snyder films were at least earnest, unlike Gunn. You're right. Some people say over earnest, but if you look back, I think what they were trying to do is trying to be different for Marvel, and they were. I think if you're going to take over DC, you got to completely remove Marvel from your head. Don't be reactionary. We want to be different than them. That means they rule you. If you're a creator and trying to approach something, and your first thought is to not build, but be unlike competitor, or be just like competitor or other thing is the first thing in your mind before Batman and Superman, then you've already lost. You've already lost. If you're out there pushing your own thing, but the first thing you think about is somebody else's thing all the fucking time, you've already lost. That person is in your head and winning every day. Marvel is in DC's head and winning every day. Instead of just going, we have awesome characters and we're going to make them like, and if there's similarities, who gives a shit? We're not concerned about them. We are doing our thing. It's called confidence. Hey, duty. Just like Badlands. Poo-poo, says B-Chain 315. Thank you for the $2. Half while you're gonna real BBC was a shit show, which is not surprising. FNT was not, which was a nice surprise. Thanks to Ryan and Garrett. Hail Ryan and Garrett. I don't know, real BBC. They talk about games and stuff when I'm not there, or Schlurpo. We've gotten some good stuff. When you react to the Pendragon cycle, Rise of Merlin official trailer, there are production diaries. Greetings from Indonesia. Greetings. We will react to it probably on, I guess, Tuesday would be my guess, or tomorrow. We shall see. 2 of 2. Well, it wasn't half. It was 1 of 2. God damn it. Sorry, Varn, for €5. Often you speak about Hollywood's disdain for Elric and Conan adaptation. I would also put all of David Gurmel's works. They're too masculine. Yeah, I mean, I point those out as masculine things, but yes, pretty much everything masculine they don't want. That would make, guys, a Conan series properly adapted would be a mega hit. A mega hit. And I mean properly adapted. Lean into that fantasy. Elric would be a risk. It would be a risk. But Conan, come on. Friday, I turned 40 and 15 years sober. Hell, brother. Congrats. 40 years old, too. Yeah, it's good that you're sober at 40. 40 is kind of, it's weird. It's a weird time. I like being in the 50s. 50s is like, you're just like, I don't give a fuck. You know, there's nothing to hold on to anymore. My beard's getting gray. Great. Same after Age of Apocalypse was my favorite and stopped after that. So was wanting everything up to there. Yeah. Go up to Age of Apocalypse. It's good stuff. It's really, really good stuff. I have the full run. I have a full run of I have a full run of all the major Marvel titles up until whatever comics they had 4 years ago. Ultimate Spider-Man damaged the image of Spider-Man, so now that we always have to have high school Peter Parker and never an actual Spider-Man. I'm not going to argue with that. Remember, Ultimate Spider-Man was outselling Amazing Spider-Man for a good long while. And I'm okay with like starting young, but no, that's been my Tom Holland thing. He's not Spider-Man. He's not a man. And Spider-Man he's mostly like an older, not like 40, but like he's a grown-up for most of the run. The whole high school thing was a very short time in the comic books. I did like Ultimate Spider-Man quite a bit. Mark Bagley's art is fucking great. I liked it. It was a somewhat less verbose Bendis, who can be really verbose. But yeah, a lot of things have done damage to Spider-Man. You know, when Stan Lee and the other editors were in charge and they really like made him the brand, they had him in a lot of books, but they never made him part of a team. And they managed to not overexpose him. And what Marvel is, and make a bunch of derivative characters of him, because when you make derivative characters, it waters down the main character. When everybody's Spider-Man, then nobody's special. Nobody's special. No, One More Day killed Spider-Man. And I think that's pretty much agreed upon within old-time comic book fans who have been reading more than, I would say, 10 years. Those of us who go back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, One More Day killed it. FNT without Gary is like getting the jab without myocarditis side effect. Okay. Thanks, Eric. Professor X's mansion was really Section 8 housing. Well, that'll be when they do. See, DC did Absolute Batman, and he's like blue collar. I don't know. A lot of people like it, but is it Commie Batman? What do you think about Absolute Batman and Absolute Universe? I'm really enjoying it so far. This version of the Joker looks very interesting. Yeah, I don't buy new DC anymore. I refused, and I've just not gone back. I'm sure it can be interesting, and what you're doing is doing Elseworld stuff. How's regular Batman doing? But yeah, I'm not into the art. I might be in the vast minority for that one, Juan, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. Do you think making Tony Stark potentially a Doom variant is almost undoing one of the greatest MCU hero arcs? I say leave Stark's legacy alone. I mean, you know he's coming back as Iron Man in Secret Wars. I mean, I think everybody knows that. And that's not anything anybody told me. That's just pure speculation. He's coming back as fucking Iron Man. Everybody knows that. I think introducing Doom to where later you're going to have to recast a young one, like relatively soon, was dumb. It's starting to look and feel like, one moment, got a cough. And then hydrate. It's starting to look like Doomsday is going to be Doctor Strange mom. Doctor Strange mom. I saw an X-Men picture. It probably was AI, but because I think this would have made bigger news. Yeah, it was AI. I was, oh, what? Is that my watch? I was doing that. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah. Always fake AI. I actually liked what they did with in the AI version. I like what they did with Mystique with Rebecca Romaine Lettuce. But yeah, I think I think this is a desperation thing that doesn't help the legacy of the MCU, of Tony Stark, of Doctor Doom, of Iron Man, or anything. I think this is, we need fucking butts in the seats and we're willing to do anything. And it's not going to fix much. Cannot wait for your TFA review. That movie ruined Star Wars. Yes, I am doing a Force Awakens review, which will come out. I'll tell you when it's going to come out. Hang on. Yes, so it will be out. Where is my calendar? Thursday, the 18th of December. So I'm going to be doing this with past movies that I didn't review, because I haven't done a full review of I mean, I did a live one, but not a full edited, like, Nerdrotic review of The Force Awakens, Ghostbusters 2016, The Last Jedi, Avatar 1, Avatar 2. What are the big ones where I wasn't really, dude, there's a bunch of Marvel movies I missed from back in the day, but a Solo. So I'm going to fix that, and I'm going to do reviews of those movies. So the first one will be on the 10-year anniversary of The Force Awakens. I will be releasing a Force Awakens review. And then there's the Long Man, who's doing his full breakdown. I think he's going to be doing some more stuff. Pretty sure. Hope you enjoyed Egypt. I want to go one day myself. Hail the fellowship. Johnny, it's worth the trip, and it's worth, like, again, the sites are 10 out of 10. They're all great. And you can actually, the power of bribery there, and the dollar goes a long way. You can get access to a lot of things. We did piss off an archaeologist because we did the Ugly America thing, and there was like a rope that we ignored. And we walked right into the area, and we were walking around, and then, like, we see this one white guy with a fucking tag going, I'm all, oh, that's the archaeologist. We just pissed him off. Whoopsie. Are there any future plans to visit North Korea, or China? Negative. No, I almost said no and negative. Negative. Yamanda, no, I will not set foot in China. I know there's some great megaliths there, and there's pyramids, and there's all this other stuff. Not setting foot in that country as long as I live. In North Korea, they wouldn't let me, nor would I want to go. I don't know if I want to go to South Korea, to be honest with you. No, I'd rather go to Greece. I'd rather go to Turkey, back to Peru, Mexico. Where did... All right. Net Stealer for $5. I emailed you because Scottsdale's in my backyard. I sent info on good places to shop and eat. Also about Dad's DVD collection I can give to you. Oh, well, I'll see you there. I'll see you there. I'm somewhat familiar with Scottsdale. We have a relative who lives there, and we stop there quite a bit. I love Scottsdale. It's bougie, and it's lovely. It's lovely. Net Stealer, 2 out of 2. Also, I made a video on Fermi explains the Drake equation. If you have time to watch it, I would appreciate an unbiased critique of it, please. I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll have time. Who is this short beard guy? That would be me. I'm not that short. I'm not super tall, but I'm not short. There we go. All right, let's go to this. This was funny. I don't know the entire context of this, but I'm sure geeksandgamers.com will explain it to me. And Marvin here. Leslie Headland labels YouTube Star Wars commentators racist and fascist and racist while discussing why The Acolyte was canceled. So here's Chris can talk more about this. Chris Gore out there, because I think he's had some experience with Leslie Headland. I don't know if it's like meeting her at a party or whatever, but what I was told was essentially that she used to be kind of based. So I'm sensing she's one of those phony ass. No, I'm right about this, but I'm right about this. She's one of those phony ass motherfucking LA people who will just be whatever she needs to be for whatever moment that is. And that would be the perfect kind of person to be I'll be on camera for this, former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, who's currently in prison for the rest of his life and dying. In her first major interview since The Acolyte was canceled from D+ series creator Leslie Headland offered her most unfiltered remarks yet on the show's reception, the Star Wars YouTube commentary world, and the circumstances behind the show's cancellation. Well, wonder what those are. The Acolyte was always a major risk. Was it though? I mean, it was a risk. I mean, if you want to say in the sense of hiring Leslie Headland because she begged for a job, and because of Russian Doll, a show that was like had its NPR audience, and not knowing a lot about Star Wars, I would say that's risky. But as far as all the DEI and the intersectional feminism, that's right up their alley. So stop with that shit. It was always a major risk because it's all new characters. It's an all new timeline. The major risk of the High Republic, the Let's Get High Republic, that was a massive, abysmal failure. We don't have stormtroopers. We don't have the Empire. We don't have the political scaffolding that Tony Gilroy brilliantly explored in Andor. You're making fucking excuses, bitch. Just take responsibility. I'm sorry, you're a woman. You can't. She also acknowledged the viewers' criticism of the story and execution were legitimate. Yes, they were. The criticisms of that show, and I mean every single fucking one of them, were legitimate. You want to know why? Because they're, for one, opinions from individual people, and those are legitimate. Deal with it. If you think you're going to go out in modern times and make something, especially in the Star Wars sandbox, but anywhere, and you aren't going to hear any criticism, I can certainly understand the artist perspective within Hollywood that, well, you can't objectively criticize art. But, you know, the thing is, you can. You can. A lot and often in many different ways. Because you can. Any gripes creatively with the show are completely valid, she said. This is her talking out both sides of her mouth. She's very good at it. That's how you succeed in Hollywood. You don't succeed with talent anymore. You succeed with bullshit. With bullshit. These are completely valid, except for all the racists and fascists. Yeah, all those racist and fascist Star Wars fans and Star Trek fans and Doctor Who fans. Get out of your fucking bubble, you square-jawed. She said, but that emission was quickly swept away with what came next. Leslie Headland on YouTube Star Wars critics. None specific, by the way. Let's also keep in mind, let's give you a little context here. She invited a bunch of YouTubers. I'm sure you saw who she invited over. Coincidentally enough, some of these YouTubers were behind trying to remove my channel, Ryan's channel, Critical Drinkers channel, a lot of people's channels with a false flagging campaign. How do I know it was a false flagging campaign? My partner manager confirmed it. Confirmed it. The false flagging was so bad on one particular video that it got caught in demonetization for one entire year. One entire year. Let me get the months. Maybe it's a little less because it just got released. So, when did they announce? Yeah. Okay. So Acolyte gets canceled. I make a video, and it's right around the time that the fucking snitches and all the Star Wars toxic positivity fandom were saying that we needed to go. All of us needed to go by any means necessary. We're breaking TOS. As a matter of fact, we weren't breaking TOS in any way, shape, or form. Ever. So they started, and I can say it because it's a year later, they started false flagging. I'm sure they did it to the other guys, but they started doing it to my videos, and it would get them tied up and demonetized. I won it all except for one. So, and I'm not supposed to say anything, but I could talk to people about demonetization, like directly, like the human beings, not the AI people, right? I don't like ever do it. I don't. It's just I just operate on my thing, but I can if I want to, and the Acolyte canceled video, which if you go back and watch it, I don't say anything that I don't say in my Acolyte review videos, got stuck in demonetization for a calendar year. And it wasn't decided. It was, it was demonetized. I did my little reply to it. And then it got stuck for a year. So it was supposed to be monetized, but it got stuck for a year. And YouTube tried to blame them. I don't think it was all their fault, to be honest with you. I think it was YouTube too. And I didn't care. Whatever. It's been a year. But it was curious that happened. So they had a coordinated, you want to talk about violating YouTube TOS. Coordinating a campaign to false flag other channels' videos violates TOS. And that can get your channel removed from the platform. Now, I don't want anybody's channel removed. I don't give a shit. But they did it. It was their choice, not mine. Their choice, not mine. And they lost that battle because the show sucked. It was woke garbage, and it got canceled. And they were salty about it. They were salty because they were campaigning hard because they were invited out by Leslie Headland, who claims she is a Star Wars fan. So although Headland stated she was not online during the height of the Acolyte discourse, she emphasized that she has long been part of the YouTube Star Wars commentary community. I am a Star Wars fan. I like all the Star Wars, according to Leslie Headland. She insisted, despite once claiming the idea of the protagonist who comes to view the Jedi as evil was somehow new and revolutionary for the saga, which means I've always been, since the launch of YouTube, part of Star Wars recap / criticism / lionization fandom community. So you were watching Geeks and Gamers, Leslie. You were watching Jeremy during The Last Jedi, huh? She probably knows Star Wars theory. That would be my guess. Headland said knows like familiar, not knows, but familiar with them. Headland said she has followed many of these creators for years and even supported some of them financially. Who? These guys I've known for years and years, she told The Wrap. I supported them on Patreon. It was within the context that she launched into remarks now dominating headlines. There are some of them that I respect, she said, and there are some of them that I think are absolute snake oil salesmen, just opportunists. Then, of course, there are the fascists and the racists. So it runs the gamut. It isn't just one thing or another. You know what doesn't run the gamut? Your show. It was pretty straightforward, straight-lined shit. And speaking of discourse, you know who kicked up the discourse? If you guys remember, let's go back. Go back in time to when the Acolyte was out. We had the communist lesbian space witches singing in a circle. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Got memed to fucking death. People laughed. People had a good time. This was the most mock show in the history of mock shows. Then it started to die down a little bit. And you know who kicked up? You know who kicked the hornet's nest? Was it the fans? No. It was Amandla Stenberg, whatever her fucking name is. The star of the show decided to make a diss track about Star Wars fans. And that sealed your fucking fate. You were fucking done when that happened. When that dumb bitch decided to make a diss track going after Star Wars fans, for one, that YouTubers were eating good. You gave them everything they wanted, everything we wanted. It proved everything. It proved all of our theories, everything you were saying about the anti-fan attitude from Lucasfilm, where a lot of the gaslighting comes from with their willing and able partners in the access media. Amandla Stenberg, whatever fucking name is, sealed your fate. That shit would have died down if it wasn't for that. And that's what threw it in the stratosphere and got your show canceled. So blame your star. An emerging pattern for the Acolyte cast. According to her own framing, these labels were not directed at anonymous trolls, but at identifiable members of the community she claims to know personally, making the remark one of the most attention-grabbing elements of the entire interview. Headland's remarks align with a broader narrative expressed by several people connected to the Acolyte over the past year. Rebecca Henderson, Headland's wife and actress in the series, previously argued that backlash against the Acolyte was driven by racists. Amanda Stenberg, the show's leading lady, who managed to play two characters who shared one facial expression, made similar comments, and even released a diss track referencing supposedly racist hate directed towards the series. Jodie Turner-Smith also suggested that the race-based hostility was a primary factor in the show's negative reception and calls on Lucasfilm to confront fan criticism more directly. I would also point out, I don't know if the article does, that the people who were invited by Leslie Headland, again, to Lucasfilm, well, some of those channels were behind trying to take down some of ours. And I'll be real, I thought I thought the way we handled it's the best way to handle it, right? I won't speak for anybody else, but we usually don't try to bring attention to this stuff like this, but it was egregious and it was such a pathetic failure. We just kind of let it play out. You know, I'm not going to go after any of them. I don't care. I mean, I'll if you're going to say something fucking stupid, I'll put it in one of my videos. But generally, I just like, fine, give it your best shot, sweetheart. And they failed. They failed. But interesting coincidence that a lot of people who were invited to Lucasfilm were involved in that. That's the point. I'm sure they just independently came up with it on their own. Oh, and Rewriting Ripley got involved again. Wonder where there's connections there. Oh, Lucasfilm connections. You know, there's a point where like, okay, it's fan on fan, it's YouTuber on YouTuber, whatever. That's the nature of the business. Then there's like, holy shit, there's a lot of smoke around this Lucasfilm fire. What are they pointing out? Do I have any direct evidence? No, other than the picture of a bunch of those fucking YouTubers at Lucasfilm. Followed by targeting channels and putting pressure on YouTube. And maybe it's just the Lucasfilm official go, you know what? It'd be great if you're tired of what this community has become, not because we've made everything woke. Everything we do is great. It's those fans who love this stuff longer than we actually did, you know, and probably know it better, especially Ryan, than we actually do. They're the problem. If you can maybe point that out to YouTube, you know, we do advertise there. YouTube might want to know. Prominent YouTube creators covered the Acolyte extensively. We did. Throughout the show's run, the Acolyte was one of the most discussed entertainment topics on YouTube. Prominent creators, including yours truly, Star Wars Theory, Drinker, WDW Pro, Valiant Renegade, Geeks and Gamers, Heel versus Babyface, fucking everybody talked about it. Benny Johnson talked about it. It hit the zeitgeist. Produced regular breakdowns, critiques, and industry analysis covering the series, its lore decisions, and its performance. Yeah, look, that's Friday Night Tights. Within Geeks and Gamers Network, the show receives sustained coverage as well. Geeks and Gamers founder Jeremy, Ryan Kinnell, and numerous other hosts across platforms, affiliate channels discussed each episode, cast interview, contributing to the larger ecosystem of fandom surrounding the Star Wars franchise. Headland was not surprised by the cancellation. She looks like a linebacker. Addressing the show's abrupt cancellation, Headland said she expected it, though not the way it unfolded. I was not surprised by it, she admitted. I think I was surprised by the swiftness of it and the publicness of it. That's a good point. I was surprised at how it was handled. I will back her up there. Back our girl up there. Disney doesn't announce cancellations. I mean, what did we just hear? Rian Johnson's trilogy is dead. We have all known this since the minute it was announced back in 2018. Here we are 8 years later, 7 years later, almost 8 years later, and they're finally announcing it. So, the way they did it so publicly, kind of interesting. I think that was a Disney decision, not a Lucasfilm decision. That's the one thing I'll put on Iger. I bet Iger wanted to announce this show being canceled more than Kathleen Kennedy. But you know who made this show happen? Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger. Typically, Disney and Lucasfilm never truly announced that the Star Wars project has been canceled. They're just quietly shelved and never mentioned again. But with The Acolyte, Disney made a very quick and very public statement that the show was ending. Headland said that once she began receiving calls about criticism and viewership numbers, she realized the decision was looming. Okay, the writing's on the wall for us. Content about Star Wars. See, here we go. Something I've said for many years. Said it earlier in this live stream. Content about Star Wars will be more culturally impactful than Star Wars. It has been. It has been. For one, when Star Wars isn't about anything, it makes it a lot easier. Star Wars is about the best way to describe it is it's if somebody's knowledge of Star Wars was watching YouTube clips and they had a bad memory and no father. And that's what Disney Star Wars is right now. And the only thing that keeps it in the zeitgeist is making it memeable. It's memeable because we just had a well-received Star Wars. We did. Andor was pretty well received. Drop in the bucket. Didn't push anything culturally at all. Otherwise, Disney would be hurrying up to make more. But they put a lot of money into this and they made a higher quality Star Wars than they ever had. I can say that. As far as, and I mean, I don't mean just special effects. I mean, quality of writing, storytelling, acting, all that across the board. I still think there's some fucking woke garbage in fucking Andor. My friends will fight me on that, but there just is. But like the Empire shit is fucking good. That's everything I wanted out of Star Wars too. So it's such a mixed bag for me. But doesn't matter because the only thing culturally relevant about Star Wars is the criticism and the critique. And it's because Star Wars is the big dog in genre pop culture. It's the big dog. And as Star Wars goes, pop culture goes. And we see where it's going right now. And it is become the face, the representative of the degradation of our pop culture, of our American mythology. It made me start to think the content being made about Star Wars will ultimately be more culturally impactful than actual Star Wars is. I seem to recall a couple of people saying that like 4 years ago. Coming from the show's creator, the statement illustrates Headland's view on the YouTube commentary, reactions, and criticism may now wield more cultural influence. Influence. I hate that word. Than the official product themselves, including for the very creators she just labeled fascist and racist. The thing is, what makes it more, I think, relevant would be a better word. I don't know about influential. I hate that word. I hate the word influencer. I hate the word influential. I do not make videos going, I want to influence people and shape minds. I not why I do stuff. I think relevant. I think more entertaining too. Like a drinker video is more entertaining than any Acolyte episode. Headland has no regrets. Well, your paycheck cashed, right? Despite the controversy, the backlash, and a short-lived run of series, she made a lot of fucking money. Headland said she remains confident in her work. Well, why not? You know, we all do rationalizations, Leslie. I was confident that I was doing cocaine for good. You know, I had that rationalized in my mind for a long time. So the power of rationalization is pretty amazing. I'm absolutely obsessed with Star Wars. She once again said, despite reshaping the entire lore of the Force and the Chosen One in her series, I am still, and I love my show. And I know that it was wonderful. Okay. Your show was not wonderful. You know it wasn't wonderful, but your paycheck was probably wonderful. So, I mean, you got paid. They were stupid enough to pay you. Kathleen Kennedy was stupid enough to give you $230 million. So was Bob Iger. And they let you do it. So while you became the very square-jawed face of that show, ultimately, they knew what they were getting into with you. But some fans, the very second it was announced, said, oh, this is going to be hot dog shit and it will fucking completely fail. And everybody was 100% right. And that was going back to 2020. It's predictable. So I'll say again, Acolyte, one of the most predictable failures in the history of television. Ironheart, one of the most predictable failures in the history of television. Rings of Power, one of the most predictable failures in the history of television. There's a lot of priors out there. So let's jump over to Superman. How is that any different? This is a predictable failure at this point. A lot of similarities. Was Superman woke? Not necessarily. Has everything James Gunn touched? Is Creature Commandos woke? There's a little bit of woke in there. Yeah. Is Peacemaker season 2 woke? Very fucking woke. Extremely woke. Uber woke. Acolyte woke. Ironheart woke. I would argue Ironheart made a little more sense than Peacemaker. Do I want an Acolyte season 2? Yes. Yes. But I don't always get what I want. I want a She-Hulk season 2. I want an Ironheart season 2. Sounds like Jeff Johns' Red Coat comic is going to be adapted to film. I might actually like a comic book movie. Yeah. Jeff Johns, great comic book writer. That's where he belongs. Great comic book writer. I thought you guys were going to Arizona. See you there. Oh, yeah, we're going, Trish. We're going for sure. Oh, yeah. I'll be there. Gonna rest a little bit, and then I'm driving out. Clickbait much? You're gonna need glasses. Oh, wait. What do you think of the new Stargate series? It has the same showrunners. I'm really looking forward to it. Well, I'm not in the Stargate like at all. It seems like the Stargate fans are cautiously optimistic. That's my general consensus. I could be wrong. I hope it's good, but hope for the best, expect the worst. That's everything you can do from Hollywood right now. Do you see AI enslaving us in the future as evil robots? Yes. Hey, Gary, my name is Matt, and I have a coworker named Matt who was black. Walmart exoriated. I could probably say that rather than read it. My boss and friend for basically delineating us between race, ethics, shit. Oh, so you got white Matt and black Matt. That's fucking gay. We used to do that shit all the time, and it'd be two white guys. We don't. It's fucking gay. Yeah, working for a corporation would be a nightmare right now. It gets better though. It gets better, says Edgerton. Power of One was stolen from Pokemon. I know you're not a Pokemon guy. I'm not, but Pokemon 2000 was miles better than Acolyte. I believe you. I believe you. Superfly. Editor MG for $5. So it's now a running joke between me and Black Matt to use racial slurs to laugh our asses off. Yeah, I would go further personally, but that's up to Black Matt. Rogue One and Andor is cursed for being Disney. Yep. Amanda Stenberg is a born billionaire. Her daddy paid for her kid. Yeah, she's a rich kid. Yeah, talking about my people out there, talking about the struggle of my people. You mean what? All the rich kids in LA? Yeah, she full of shit. She full of shit. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. I thank you all for joining this impromptu stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow to do another stream, and then tomorrow, the day after that, to do another stream. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do on Wednesday because I got work. But y'all have a good night. I don't know if anybody else is streaming. It's kind of late. Let's see. Derek. Yeah, Derek Anderson, the DA, is streaming. Go check him out. Derek's good people. Go check out his stream. Jose Taco, did I miss it? Okay, hang on. If I missed any more, I'll get them tomorrow. Let me scroll up. How long ago did you send it, brother? I don't see one. Oh, there it is. Okay, Miles Morales. There it is. I got it. Miles Morales is now named Spin, according to Flash. Yellow Flash. So they changed his name. Well, they should. They should have done that a long time ago. Spin. It's a lot of spin changing his name. Thank you, Jose Taco. All right. Thanks to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and donation. You guys help keep the lights on. I'm very happy to be home, and we'll have a lot to talk about. It's going to be a fun week, and we're all rolling up to the holidays. So we're going to be we're going to have our Christmas Eve stream. We're going to doing a lot of fun, some gaming streams coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun around the holidays. So hope you guys will be there. And I will see you tomorrow right here. Ciao, everybody, and thank you.